Hey, what's up guys and gals? My name is Rick9G. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to be talking about the Three Stooges, more specifically about the 83rd Stooge short made by Columbia Pictures, released January 19, 1945. It was the first Stooge short that came out that year. If you're a fan of the Three Stooges, liking, commenting, and subscribing is the way to support my channel on this. I've been cataloging every single Stooge short from number 1 all the way now to 83. I cover bloopers, special effects, really cool behind the scenes information, so make sure to check out my playlist below and look at the previous shorts you may have missed. So let's get right to it. This one is called Three Pests in a Mess. Now, it was produced or filmed June 22nd through the 26th of 1944. It was regular and common for the Stooges to make their shorts and then for them to come out later on when they would finish editing and final touches. Since Del Lord was the director, he essentially remade the 1933 Paramount Pictures short film Sailors Beware. In this short, the Stooges are three inventors trying to get a patent on their preposterous, crazy fly-catching invention. Now, when they learn they'll have to catch 100,000 flies to earn enough to get a patent, some crooks overhear this and think the boys are the $100,000 sweepstakes winners. Now, when the crooks give chase to the Stooges, they hide in a sporting goods store where Curly shoots a dummy, and they think this is a real person. So they think they essentially killed someone, and so they decide to quote-unquote bury the body, even though it's a mannequin, in a pet cemetery, because of course they're the Stooges. But the cemetery owner arrives from a costume party with his partners. They're all dressed up as spooks, different Halloween costumes, different themes, and so forth, and they proceed to scare the Stooges into believing that ghosts and all these crazy things are pursuing them. Now, there are quite a few things that I can cover in this short, but what I want to cover is something very specific, and that is a special effect that was done where Larry appears to crawl, not really crawl, but shoot himself because he got so scared under a door. He essentially almost launches himself so powerfully that he's able to kick out all the sand and essentially dig like a huge tunnel with his body as he launches himself under the door. Now, how do they do this effect? Remember, this was 1945, before a lot of crazy special effects were made. What they did, they had the prop man dig a hole. He essentially dug a hole under the door and made a bit of a crevice. Now, this hole was an elongated hole that went from right before the door, under the door, and past the door inside that little shack. And so it was covered afterwards by that prop man with a type of a rubber sheet. So what they would able to do, they used the rubber sheet on top of an empty hole, and then they would cover the top layer with a thin layer of dirt. So essentially, to you and me, it would look like nothing was different, but essentially there was a hole there. So what they did, they had Larry slide under the door, which was now just a rubber sheet. So he would go through the rubber sheet, he would essentially go inside the hole, and they didn't want him to just stay in the hole. It was important for him to essentially get pulled through the door. So it was like he launched under the door. So what they did, they quickly pulled him through the door from the other side. Some crew members did this, and then they filmed the speed as a speed shot, which essentially they accelerated the film just a little bit to be able to make it look smooth. Because remember, if Larry would have launched himself, it would have been very difficult for him to keep going under the door and continue so that his legs were completely out of the shot. So he had to have that assistance to be pulled off camera. And so it was a really big group effort, but it made like a cartoon physics type thing where he was pulled off on the camera, and it was all because he was so scared, so spooked. I want to know if you have seen this short. It is not one that, in my opinion, is seen often. It's kind of this spooky one. It has a really crazy theme, but it's unusual because it did come out in January, so it's not like a Halloween time short at all. It even was filmed in late June, so again, not Halloween related at all. I don't think the purpose was Halloween, but it very well could have been a Halloween episode. I'd love to know your thoughts down below. Have you seen this one? Do you think it is one that you enjoy if you have seen it? And what is your favorite part? I think this was a really clever special effect. And again, pretty advanced for the time because it was 1945, and they had to be able to make it look realistic. And I think they did a pretty good job. We'll see you all next time. Don't forget to stay positive and most importantly, be hopeful. A big thanks to all of my Patreon members, especially my Diamond and Platinum tier patrons: David D, Citizen Kane 359, Jerry D, Vito L, Sally N, Russ C, Kev, and Daniel B. If you want to be on this list or appear in the credits, make sure to look at the link in the description. Thanks.